Yeah, this is just so neat up here. I love the cliff that's all along here for a good ways. And that's difficult to get up and get down. It's pretty steep, all rock. I'm not going to expend the energy today, but it is pretty cool. It is Saturday evening, about 5:30, and yesterday I had a great hike. It was the furthest I've hiked in a long time, a little over 4.5 miles. I really need to do a lot better than that before I go out on the AT here in like a little over a month from now. But it was a good hike. I got a little bit dehydrated, as I usually do. So what I wanted to talk about in this video is my hiking health concerns. And it's going to be brief, so there's probably a lot of details I'm not going to get into. Many years ago, I was diagnosed with paroxysmal atrial fibrillation, AFib. So my heart was occasionally out of a regular steady beat. Had a weird rhythm. So they put me right away on warfarin, a blood thinner. Then, after a few years, my heart went into full AFib. So what they did was they did a procedure called a cardioversion, where they put me under and externally shocked my heart, put it into a regular rhythm, and then put me on a medication. Well, that lasted for 2.5 years. And then, so at the end of last year, I was in full AFib again. And so the first of this year, I had another cardioversion done. They doubled my medication. And for the most part, my heart's been in a good steady beat. Now, because I am on warfarin, that's one concern, because obviously that's going to affect me if I bleed. So if I cut myself, and in some way major, then I could bleed out, if I don't do the right things, if I'm not careful. So if I'm a few miles away from any kind of real help, I might be in big trouble. Now, this hadn't stopped me from hiking out on the AT in the past. It's been long enough. I've still done it. So I'm not tremendously concerned, but it is something I have to be prepared for. So I carry a couple of these in my backpack, these quick clot bandages, and maybe a few extra gauze, that maybe most people don't carry. So one thing I want to get that I don't have is a tourniquet. So before I go out on the AT, I want to get a tourniquet for my pack as well. So those, I may have a good chance to stop external bleeding, but if I fall bad enough, I may have internal bleeding. Not a lot I can do about that except get to a hospital. If I hit my head and have bleeding inside my head, that's particularly bad. It's bad for anybody, but if you're on blood thinners, it's even more dire. So I'd have to make sure I try to get to emergency room as fast as possible. So that's one concern I've got to be prepared for as much as possible. Also, remaining hydrated is important. It's important for everybody, but it's especially important if you have a heart condition. So that's what all the doctors, everybody, they've said, don't worry about getting your heart rate up. That's fine. You might want to, get one of those, something on your wrist that tells you what your heart rate is. I don't want to spend money on that, but they said, don't worry about that too much. Just the main thing is to stay hydrated. So I've chosen a place to hike where there's a lot of water sources, and that's so important. But also I'm taking electrolytes. What I like to carry is Liquid IV. It's expensive, and I don't use it unless I'm out on a backpacking trip on the AT or something like that. I'll spend the extra money. So that's very important. Those are my concerns. I always get dehydrated, almost always. Even out here on the local trail, I push myself and kind of pay for it a little bit in the end. So I've got to be careful about all these kinds of things. It's not going to keep me from going out there and trying. I've got to do a lot better than 4.5 miles, and I don't have much more time left. Good Sunday morning, everybody. All right, well, another one of my hiking concerns recently that's been popping up are my sides. And I think it started, because it's happened in the past, when I threw on a heavy backpack and started really pushing myself to where I was starting to get pains in my muscles and my torso here. I think that's all it is. I hope it's nothing more serious than that. But this week, all the exercises I do, walking the dam and the stairs and stuff, I'm going to do without my backpack. I'm going to leave it off for the whole week just to see if that helps, if it that pain starts to subside a little bit. But it's difficult getting down and then back up off of the ground. It's going to be difficult having to go out in the woods and clean myself properly. So it might be an issue. Anyway, so we'll see. All right, guys, let's go get on the scale. Okay, so last Sunday I weighed 371.4 pounds. And this morning, this Sunday, I weigh 364.2 pounds, giving me a total loss on the week of 7.2 pounds. So I will take that for sure, which gives me a grand total loss so far since January 1st of 90.2 pounds. That sounds really good. Well, guys, thank you so much for your encouragement and for your support. I also appreciate your constructive criticism. It's always helpful, and no matter what kind of concerns I have about my health, I do know that when I get out there, Lord willing, in a little over a month from now on the AT and backpacking, I will weigh less than I have in a long time when it comes to backpacking. So that will definitely help. All right, guys, have a great week. Lord willing, I will see you on Wednesday.